hospital is.
So one of the things about the clinical hospital EMR system, I'm a doctor. I do a lot of stuff at a hospital that uses the Epic platform. And what I feel
to remain unnamed.
To remain unnamed, I was being politically correct about that. So basically, what I do is I go in and I essentially see a patient, determine my clinical course within 5 or 10 minutes or 15 minutes of seeing the patient, and then I go back to my room on a computer and spend about half an hour to 45 minutes actually just putting in orders and documenting my clinical judgment. But that whole process, I've only delivered maybe at the most 15 minutes of clinical care and decision making on that patient. But it took me half an hour to 45 minutes of my time just to put in the documentation so that it could be communicated to the nurses, it could be provided for information for billing, and essentially a document that, if at best, maybe 5% actually gets read by the next clinician.
Right. So you're just a data entry clerk.
I'm a data entry clerk because at the end of the day, what ends up happening is the assessment and plan, which takes me all of about 5 to 10 minutes, is what actually gets read by the next doctor picking up the care on this patient, or is required for any clinical decision making on this patient's care whatsoever.
Whereas where I work in a county hospital, and it's all paper, I can do an order, an admission order, in literally 2 minutes.
Yeah.
I can do it 10 times faster than I can with the
computer
unnamed EMR system that we referenced before. But it's paper.
The unnamed system that we named before.
But it's paper, and we all know that paper, we can't keep using paper. So we have to figure out a way to do the inpatient side where most of the time is spent with the patient and 5 minutes is spent with the actual
one more point I'll
record.
make. One of the benefits, the so-called benefits of these electronic medical records was for me as a clinician, I was supposed to look back in the chart and dissect it and learn what about this patient can contribute to this patient's current care. For instance, if I'm about to give the patient fluids, I should look at their echo and decide, can I give this patient extra fluids? Is his heart functioning at the maximum level? If I do, will I overload them and create a situation called CHF? A lot of times, it takes me 15 minutes to go find that echo report in Epic. It's named. The hospital system isn't named. But in Epic, it takes me 15 minutes to figure that out.
Yeah.
And it takes me extra time. A lot of times, I'll forego that decision and decide to do what I'd probably do in a paper system, which is go slowly and see what happens, and maybe get a new echo and create another test, another study.
Another bunch of costs.
So